Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Mel and I am a knitter and crafter living on the Orkney Islands off the north coast of Scotland. If you are new here, then welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, then you're very welcome back. Okay, so this video I'm going to be talking about my autumn knitting plans for 2026. I have tried to keep it fairly small compared to normal this year. I usually have these grand plans for the autumn knitting season, forgetting that come November I'll be wanting to start work on Christmas projects. So in reality I only have like the back end of August, September and October to get through stuff. So I've tried to keep it smaller, but when I started gathering things I realised actually there is still quite a bit here. Some of it is kind of things that I would like to knit if I get to them, but it's not so much of a priority, but some of them I really do want to do this year. So I will pop up on the screen the pictures of the patterns that I am going to talk about, and I will show you the yarns that I'm planning to use for each of the projects. So first up is actually a pattern that well, it's a project that I started last autumn and I haven't finished. It got put aside in February to work on more spring summer knits, so I'm picking it back up now, and that is the Zweig Sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I have knit two of these before, and last autumn I started an autumn coloured version. So far I have got the yoke done on this, so the majority of this is actually done. I have all of the lace work done at the top. There is still a little bit of colour work in this kind of stripy pattern to do at the bottom of the sweater and potentially on the sleeves. I haven't decided yet, so I would like to get this finished as a kind of a priority, as I have a couple of other garments I would like to knit, but this one I obviously need to get off the needles first. But I can't wait to have this done. It is gorgeous. The yarns that I am using for it are 3 skeins that I bought in Perth at the Scotch Yarn Festival. I have 2 skeins in this darker copper and 1 skein in this slightly lighter copper. I'm not sure, I don't think they're the same colour. I think they're 2 different colours that the yarn dye does, but I could only get 2 skeins of this, so I bought another one to go along with, and I thought the Zweig was a good way of using all 3 in the same project. The yarn I'm using is by Iole Yarns, and that is their logo, Iole Yarns, and this is a Scottish yarn dyer, and the base is a 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. So this is a really lovely luxury yarn. The colour, does it have a colour? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if Lewing is the base. I think it's the base rather than the colour, because it just has dye lots, but I'm not sure. But otherwise I will show those as well. So I'm not sure which name or number is the actual colour. It could be either. But it is really, really nice. It's beautifully soft and I can't wait to be able to wear this sweater. It feels too nice to wear. That's the only way I can describe it. It's so soft and gorgeous. But I really want to get this finished so that I can work on other projects. I forgot to mention what I'm actually wearing today. Today I am wearing a sweater I made back in 2022, and it is the Arboreal Sweater by Jennifer Steingass, and I really like this sweater. It's very autumnal in these colours. This is actually knit in drops, tweed, something. It is, I will put all the links for everything down below, but it is a, I think it's an is it alpaca viscose tweedy blend, something like that, in the colourway Carrot Cake, which you can't actually get this colour anymore, which is really disappointing. I have 2 sweaters knit in this colour. I have this one and a pumpkin, kind of carved pumpkin style sweater knit in it, and I love this colour. It is the perfect burnt orange. I think Knit Picks do a colour in the base which is basically identical to this, which is it's a DK weight tweedy with viscose in it blend, and I think they do a burnt orange, or they used to when this colour was out, so I'm not sure if they still do. Okay, next up, let's see. I have, oh, I don't even know where to start really. Let's start with another garment. I knit a few years ago the Umpqua sweater by, oh, this is actually another Caitlin Hunter one actually. The Umpqua sweater even. I knit this sweater for my husband. It was the second garment I'd ever knit. It wasn't supposed to be for my husband, but I made quite a few mistakes with this. I made it in quite kind of 70s-esque sort of colours, in like burnt orange, green, beige, and this dark brown. Originally it was supposed to be for me, but when I'd done the yoke, it was so big and oversized, it was just huge on me, and it just looked awful, and I didn't want to rip out and redo the yoke because it was my second sweater. So I made it bigger, made the sleeves longer, the body longer, and so on for my husband. Other mistakes I made at the time is I knit my sleeves magic loop with the same size needle as the body, so the sleeves are a slightly tighter gauge, and you can kind of see here where it kind of cinches slightly when it finishes the yoke and starts the sleeve. I've obviously learnt since then, don't do magic loop for the sleeves, and if I desperately need to, go up slightly with the needle tips. I made the collar longer for him because it likes a high neck collar, and I actually made a split hem with a longer back for him because he has quite a rolled shoulder. He's tall, very tall, and consequently has that kind of tall person stoop thing going on, so I made it longer in the back for him. But I always wanted to knit myself my own Umpqua, obviously, because I started one. So I decided I was going to knit it in the original pattern colours, the first version of it, which is this mild beigey brown colour with an orange and black yoke to it. So that's what I'm planning to do. I have a bit of a mixed batch here, what I'm going to use. Well, there's two different yarn bases here. The orange, I'm going to use this ball of Gilead that I bought ages ago. I bought this and a ball of grey. Did I buy three different colours? I'm not sure. There's definitely some grey upstairs, and this burnt orange colour. I had no particular plans for it. I just knew I would knit something autumnal with it, probably a pumpkin hat or something, and decided it would work really well in this sweater. The colour of this is it Potamarron, and this is a DK weight yarn, I believe. Is it DK weight? I don't think it actually says on here, but I'm pretty sure it's a DK weight, maybe bordering on worsted weight, and it is a 100% wool yarn. I think it is a non-superwash merino. I think. I couldn't swear to it, but I think it's 100% merino, non-superwash. If not, I will pop it on the screen. So I'm using this for the orange, and then for the body of the sweater I'm going to combine two colours of the same base in fingering weight to make up a DK to worsted weight. So I'm going to use Drops Flora in these two colours, which are colours number 08 for the medium brown and 39 for the beigey colour. I think this one is called Marzipan and this one is light brown, and this combination was the closest I could get to the look I was going for. I don't have access to the original yarn that's used in a pattern, so this is what I chose to use instead. And the black, I'm just going to use Drops Flora, again fingering weight, but I'm going to hold it double for the colour work, and I only have one ball of that, and that should be plenty. So I'm hoping that's going to work out and look very similar to the original. It should do. I did a swatch with the two colours held together and marled, and it did look quite good, although I'm quite tempted to throw them on my spinning wheel and kind of add a little bit of extra twist in to really kind of marl it up properly before I knit with it. That's quite a bit of extra work, but it shouldn't take too long to kind of like untwist and retwist them together, because I'll just whiz them through the wheel. It only needs a little bit of spin, a little bit of twist taken out of the original yarn, and a wee bit of twist putting back in to ply them together, and I think it'll work out okay if I can be bothered. It might just be knit as it is, but we'll see. Next up we have some sock designs. I want to knit some more DK weight lace patterned socks for the autumn. I swapped out or rotated my sock drawer a couple of days ago and realised I actually have less autumn socks than any other season, which is surprising because I really love knitting in the autumn. So DK weight lace pattern socks. I'm planning to knit the Woodland Walk socks by This Handmade Life, which is a lacework pattern with little leaf designs in, and I'm planning to use Drops Fiesta in colourway number 30, if I can get it to focus, which is this. My camera wants to focus on everything except when I'm clicking on. There we go. It is a kind of a variegated brown, like a dark, I don't know, like a slightly purpley brown. I do like this colour. The colourway is called, if I can find it, oh, my Ravelry is playing up today. Okay, Woodland Walk socks, colourway Roasted Almond. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. I could remember it up until I came to record. Roasted Almond for these socks. And the second pair of the lacework DK weight I would like to knit is the Autumn Fires socks, and this is by La Maison de Saba, so French designer, and again with the Drops Fiesta in this nice kind of variegated, almost semi-solid copper colour. And this one is the colourway Copper. After all that, it's just called Copper. So that will give me another 2 pairs of the nice cozy after shower socks that I'm really enjoying knitting on at the moment. I do plan on making fingering weight socks as well. I'm thinking of just some plain vanilla socks that I can fall back on when I just want something mindless, when I'm really tired. I picked up a ball of this wool when I was south visiting mum a few months ago. It is by Woolcraft and it is just a fingering weight yarn, if I can find the colourway, number 46, and it is this really nice shade of like purples and greens, and I just really love this colour. It makes me think of almost kind of like, well, no, not Halloweeny, but kind of witchy colours with the purples and the greens. Think of the witches from, oh, Hocus Pocus, that was it. Kind of Hocus Pocus kind of colours. And I'm just going to pair this with a kind of a charcoaly colour for contrast toes and heels, and then I should get a second pair out of these at some point. It's almost like a bluey charcoal, but I felt it was of all the charcoals and blacks that I have in stash, it kind of went the best with this yarn. And this just came from a set that I picked up in Lidl's a few months ago. I picked up this set that has this yarn in it, which is actually upstairs, and this charcoal one as a contrast, but I thought this would work well with this yarn. And these will just be regular old vanilla socks. Also, I'm thinking of knitting a pair of fingering weight lace weight socks, and this is one of those projects that if I get to it, I planned to knit these socks a good few years ago and I've yet to knit on them. So this is the Autumn Cozy Socks, again by This Handmade Life, and This is some old vintage sock yarn that I picked up from the charity shop a good few years ago. It is kind of like a brown with a little flecks of blue in it. It's quite unusual. In fact, I have the opposite colour to this in my stash as well that I also picked up from the charity shop, which is the blue with brown flecks in it, which I'm planning to make some socks with, as I have some more of this. Some socks with both of them in it, possibly a stripes or contrast toes and heels, something like that. This is by Sunbeam, and the range is St. Ives, and the colourway number is 3095. And I think I have about 150 grams or something of this in stash. So I should have plenty for some lacework socks and to do other things with as well. Okay, what else do we have? I know I have another garment. Whether I'll get it done this autumn's another matter, but it's not, I'm throwing things on the floor. It is not specifically an autumn garment, where the other ones kind of have an autumn feel. This is just, I would like to get it done because I've already swatched for it, I just haven't started it yet. Okay, I would like to knit the Traveler, the hoodie version of the sweater by Andrea Mowry. I'd kind of discounted it when I first came across it, and then I'd seen Natalie of Knitty Natty's version of it and I really liked it, so I decided I was going to knit my own, not in the beige that she did. I decided to go with something considerably brighter, and that is screaming purple. Bright purple. Well, I guess you could say violet rather than purple, but it is very bright. There we go. And this is Drops Charisma. I picked this up in a sale a few months ago from Wool Warehouse, and I just thought, do you know what, I want a really bright coloured hoodie, so that's what I'm doing. This is colour 76, and yeah, it's quite nice, the Charisma. The Drops Charisma is 100% wool. I do prefer their Lima DK base, which has got alpaca in it. It's just that little bit softer, but this 100% wool is really nice. It's going to pill like crazy because the Drops pure wool generally does. This sweater up here is in Drops Alaska, and it has pilled. It has been de-pilled a few times, so it's not pilling as much as it used to, but for the first few wears it does pill. It does kind of eventually settle down, so it will pill, and it's in garter ridge, well, a mixture of stocking and garter ridges, this design, so it is going to pill. But since this is going to be a house sweater, that doesn't really matter. I'm very tempted to do a brightly coloured contrast I-cord tie for the hood like Natalie did, because I thought that was quite cute. And yeah, so this is it. If I get to it, I would like to cast this on. Because it is a thicker yarn, it's a DK weight yarn, but it's more like a worsted weight. It should knit up fairly quickly. But again, it is if I get to it. If not, there will be time over the winter to knit it. What do we have left? Okay, I said I wasn't going to knit colourwork Halloween socks this year, but I'm kind of tempted. There is two different sock designs I'm tempted with. I'm going to have to look at my phone to check the names of these. So there's the Autumn Harvest Pumpkin Patch sock set, and this has two different pumpkin designs on the ankle and a little bit on the toe. These are by Renard and Domi. I believe I knit one of their designs before. I think it was the Christmas socks that I knit for my husband. It could have been the Christmas socks I knit for my husband this past year, which had little trucks with Christmas trees on the top. Either that or it's some Halloween ones. Yes, it was my husband's Christmas socks last year. So there's either these, or there is another colourwork sock that I really like called the Pumcat socks, which has these little black cats sitting on top of pumpkins, and that is another pattern by Renard and Domi, and I can't decide, and I'm not entirely sure if I'll get to them, but it's a possibility. Now I have a number of yarns I could use for this. I have a bag full of kind of autumn, try not to crinkle too much, autumny colours. I have 3 different shades of orange. I have rust, I have some greeny ones and some dark brown. I also have what will be left over from doing my my dandelion wristies, the name eludes me, that I'm currently knitting on, and I will have some of the West Yorkshire Spinners colourway nutmeg left over that I could also use for these sock designs. So I'm tempted, I'm very tempted, but again, we will see how far we get with the other projects first, and then if I have time closer to like Halloween time, then I will think about knitting a kind of a Halloween autumn pair then. There is one more design that I would like to do if I get round to it, and I've tried knitting this a couple of times now. It is again by this hand midlife, and it is the Wood Nymph socks. I've had 0 success with getting the right yarn for the design. There's nothing wrong with the design, it's the yarn. I tried knitting it in a semi-solid DK weight yarn, well, a slightly speckly DK weight yarn, and the design didn't show up. Then I tried a semi-solid DK weight yarn, and again it just wasn't showing up, and I don't know if it was the DK weight side of things or whether it was the semi-solid side of things. So I'm going to try something else. I'm thinking the only way I'm going to be able to do these is with a solid coloured fingering weight yarn. So I'm thinking of possibly using this ball of West Yorkshire Spinners, which is the colourway Amber, and using this to knit a kind of autumn coloured pair of plain coloured lacework socks, which I very rarely do. I nearly always do contrast toes and heels. Last year I knit a pair of, I don't know if it was last year or the autumn before, I knit another pair by this hand midlife called the Hocus Pocus socks, and that has a column of cable up in a similar sort of way as the Wood Nymph socks, and I did those in, I think it was a similar colour to this, and I did a contrast toes and heels with the dark green, but I think I'm going to have to stick with the plain colour all the way through. I'm not sure, maybe I could use a little bit of the nutmeg as contrast toes and heels, or do something completely different, or a dark brown just for the heels. I'm not sure yet, so I'm thinking this, well, this will work for that pattern. So if I get around to it, this is another one of those, if I finish everything else, if I want to knit socks and I've knit all my socks, this will be another possibility. Okay, so that's it for my choices for this year. 1 garment to finish, 1 garment to start and hopefully finish with a backup. Socks I definitely want to do, and backup socks, that's if I have time for. And I'm trying to keep it relatively realistic. There are things I definitely want to do and possibilities for finishing off the season if I want to knit something else autumnal, and I think I'm going to have to stick with that. I do have a couple of cross stitch projects I would like to do as well this year, so I'm kind of like got to squeeze them in too. I have a nice design that's kind of 80% done that I have to go back to, that I haven't worked on for a few years, which is a picture of a fox on a black background, and it's very pretty, and I want to finish it because I want to hang it in my living room. And I also have a kit that I bought at Perth, which is a like a black work stitch pumpkin design in autumn colours rather than black thread, and I really want to work on that as well. So I have quite a few things I would like to work on, and it is the late 20 somethings of August now, so I'm thinking I might just have to cast on some of these quick knit socks now that I can get ahead. If I can finish off my summer projects, I still have to finish off a couple of things and then clear my needles, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just sneak in a little bit of autumn knitting here and there. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching through to the end. Let me know in the comments if you have any autumnal or Halloween knitting projects planned for this year, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.